There are signs on the hands that transcend the ordinary, subtle yet powerful traces that indicate something unique about who you are and what you came to accomplish on this planet. Certain individuals display a crescent moon icon. Others have the enigmatic letter M etched on their palms. And there are those who bear more than one of these symbols. These marks are not mere quirks. For many, they are clear evidence that the person belongs to a distinct group, the predestined. The predestined are individuals with a calling, people endowed with exceptional perception, who experience things with greater intensity and see reality through unique lenses. However, there are different types of predestined. Each type carries a gift, a purpose, and also a spiritual duty. In this content, you will learn about the 3 types of predestined who display marks on their hands and understand what this reveals about you, your nature, and your future. You will notice that these signs do not appear by chance. They are calls, summons, signs that something grand awaits you, and perhaps the moment to awaken is now. So, examine carefully. Do you have a crescent moon, a letter M, or both? Each combination carries a profound meaning, and you may be surprised by what you discover about yourself. If this material resonates with you in some way, take the opportunity to follow the channel now, as each video here is created for those who feel deep down that they are not here by accident. 1. The crescent moon, the invitation of rhythms and intuition. Not everyone notices, but some people have a small crescent moon-shaped mark at the base of their nails. For many, it seems like just an intriguing detail. But for those who feel the call, this sign can be the beginning of a deeper revelation. The crescent moon is like a discreet indicator. It doesn't demand attention or focus, but it's there, constant, solid. And for those who connect with the intangible, it speaks volumes. Individuals with a visible crescent moon tend to possess unique sensitivity. They perceive what others don't notice, changes in the environment, hidden feelings, omens. Everything flows to them naturally. They don't need tangible proof to know something is happening. They feel it in their body, heart, and dreams. This connection with the rhythms of life makes them true emotional barometers. Many of these individuals carry an innate spirituality. It's not about faith, doctrines, or rules. It's something that emerges from within, as if they were born with a distinct knowing. They are people who enjoy contemplating the sky, the flow of nature, the lunar phases, not because of external guidance, but because it resonates with them. It's as if their soul recalls something ancestral. However, this perception is a double-edged sword. While it facilitates empathy, compassion, and connection with the sacred, it can also lead to exhaustion, unexplained melancholy, or even isolation. Those with the crescent moon often feel out of place, as if they don't fully belong to the world around them. This is no coincidence. It's part of the call to learn to exist between 2 universes. These individuals often have vivid dreams, filled with symbols. Sometimes they wake up with strong emotions, messages they can't explain, or the sensation of having traveled to other places during sleep. Intuition is one of their greatest strengths. They often sense what's coming before any external signs appear. And even when they try to ignore this instinct, life confirms their perceptions. They have a deep connection with time. They know when to wait, when to act, and when something needs to change. This makes them remarkable counselors, even without knowing exactly where their certainty comes from. Those who carry this sign didn't come just to follow their own path. They came to be a beacon for others, a subtle guide that lights the way when everything seems dark. They are often drawn to practices like meditation, natural therapies, astrology, and ancestral spirituality. These are tools that help balance body, mind, and spirit. But the journey isn't always simple. Because they feel so much, they often get lost in emotions that don't belong to them. Thus, self-care is crucial. Silence, nature, and moments alone are more than essential. They are indispensable. If you have this mark, you may have noticed that your presence calms environments, that people open up to you easily. This is no coincidence. It's part of your purpose. You don't need fanfare to transform. Your strength lies in listening, perceiving, welcoming, and seeing the hidden. That is rare. That is valuable. The world needs people like you, who sense before others, feel more deeply, and care without saying a word. The crescent moon on your hand is a reminder. You were predestined to feel, guide, and heal. And even if it feels heavy at times, know that you are not alone. Others also bear this mark, others also feel this call, and together you form a subtle network of light. 2. The letter M on the hand. The leadership that renews. Have you ever closely examined the palm of your hand? Some people notice something peculiar, the letter M drawn by the natural lines. When this sign is evident, it often carries a unique message, a call that the person feels without fully understanding its origin. Those born with a visible M on their hand carry a singular energy, a leadership capacity that doesn't need to be forced. It expresses itself in their actions, decisions, and how they face life's challenges. It's not about dominating or controlling, it's about motivating. These people have the talent to influence those around them, even in silence. It's as if their presence inspires action and initiative in others. Individuals with this sign generally face life with courage. They are resolute, determined, and don't shy away from responsibilities. When they see something needs to be done, they take charge almost instinctively. They don't wait for orders to know what's right. They feel what needs to be accomplished. This clarity often unsettles those who prefer to hide in uncertainty or comfort. The M also suggests high emotional intelligence. Even without technical training, they read situations and people with precision. They notice when something is wrong, even behind smiles and kind words. This perception makes them natural counselors, sought-after friends, and reliable allies. They know how to listen and, more importantly, how to guide. Sometimes, with just a few words, they change the course of a conversation, a choice, or even a life. But not everything is easy. Those who carry the M also face pressure. From an early age, they are seen as strong, responsible, capable of everything. And that can be lonely. Sometimes no one asks if they're okay. Inside, they feel intensely, facing deep highs and lows, but they don't always know how to ask for support. Still, outwardly, they remain steadfast. They keep guiding because they know many depend on them. The M on the hand is also associated with justice. Those with this sign have an innate sense of ethics and truth. They feel restless in the face of injustices, falsehoods, or manipulations. And when necessary, they confront them. These people are renewers. Wherever they are, something transforms. Even if it's a gesture, a phrase, or an idea, they plant seeds of change, often without realizing it. They spark progress, even unintentionally. Another striking characteristic is their practicality, the predestined with the M value action. They have ideas, yes, but they also work to bring them to life. They are solvers, not just dreamers. Thus, they naturally stand out in groups, companies, or projects. Whether in the spotlight or behind the scenes, their energy makes a difference. They always find a way to achieve goals, but this power requires direction. When they don't recognize their worth, they may stray down paths that don't align with their essence. And then they feel empty, disconnected. The great challenge for those with the M is to balance strength with sensitivity, to act with purpose without ignoring their own heart, to lead without carrying the weight of the world. If this sign is on your hands, you've likely noticed, people expect a lot from you, but your purpose isn't to please everyone. It's to lead with authenticity. It's to renew with courage. You're not here to follow norms. You're here to forge paths, inspire by example, and show that strength and sensitivity can coexist, and that soulful leadership is the rarest of all. 3. The double M, the balance between the divine and the earthly finding. A distinct M on one hand is already uncommon. Having two M's, one on each palm, is even rarer. This sign represents a type of predestined who lives between two worlds, that of feeling and that of doing. Those who carry this combination often have balanced gifts. On one hand, a practical, decisive mind ready to act. On the other, an intuitive, sensitive heart that seeks purpose in everything. These individuals are strategists by nature. They reflect deeply, but act with clarity. They see the future but know how to handle the present, making them conscious leaders. The double M brings an energy of meaningful achievements. Nothing they do is for vanity or status. They need to believe in what they build. They need to feel authenticity in what they offer the world. It's common for them to feel restless from a young age, as if searching for something greater, a mission, a direction, a calling. Even when everything seems fine, there's a hunger for more. These people have a finely tuned emotional radar. They detect what's misaligned, what needs healing, what hasn't been said. And at the same time, they have the courage to act when few others do. Those with an M on each hand are often reliable, not just for keeping promises, but for conveying security. There's something in their gaze, their posture, their choices, a solidity that comforts. But this solidity comes at a price. Life tests these predestined frequently. Obstacles arise not to punish them, but to shape them. Each challenge overcome brings greater clarity. These individuals aren't easily manipulated. They perceive hidden intentions, notice inconsistencies, and detect subtle lies. This sharp vision may push some away, especially those who fear being exposed. On the other hand, they are extremely loyal. When they connect with someone or a cause, they give themselves fully, body, mind, and spirit. They don't do things halfway. They are also exceptional mediators. They can unite opposing sides, translate perspectives, and resolve conflicts. This is because they understand both logic and emotion. They know how to listen, but also stand firm. Despite all this strength, many of these predestined face moments of doubt. They question if they're on the right path, fear making mistakes, or worry about not living up to expectations. This is natural and part of their purpose. The great lesson is to trust their intuition as much as they trust their strategies, to understand that feeling is a strength, not a weakness, and that planning doesn't negate the soul, it only gives form to the intangible. These people have a strong power of manifestation. Everything they visualize with clarity and intention tends to come to fruition. Therefore, they must care for their thoughts, energy, and words. They are living seeds. If you have an M on each hand, you may have felt that your role in the world is bigger than it seems, and you're right. You came to create bridges between the spiritual and the material. Your mission involves leading with consciousness, serving with purpose, and living with authenticity. Even when no one sees, you feel you're being guided, and you are. The double mark on your hands is a reminder you're not divided, you are whole, and the more you connect with your essence, the clearer your path will become. 4. Crescent, Moon and M. The union of feeling and doing. Some people display two striking signs on the same hand, the crescent moon and the letter M. When these symbols appear together, they indicate a rare and singular combination. The crescent moon symbolizes sensitivity, intuition, and spiritual connection. The M brings leadership, clarity, and action. Together, they form a type of predestined who navigates between the intangible and the concrete. This profile is deeply connected to what they feel, but also knows how to turn feelings into actions. They listen to their intuition, but plan with a pragmatism. They are a visionary soul with a resilient heart. Those with this combination often have exceptional perception. They sense the environment, perceive intentions, feel imbalances, and know how to use this information. They are people who see and act, feel and decide. As a result, they often become a point of balance for those around them. They act as guides, counselors, or emotional anchors. It's not uncommon for them to feel torn between opposites. Sometimes they wish to retreat, meditate, and find silence. But the world calls them, demanding presence, action, movement. This can be draining without balance. They live in constant internal dialogue. One part yearns for spirituality, while another seeks tangible results. The secret lies in harmonizing these forces without getting lost in extremes. These predestined have a remarkable ability to understand what lies behind words. They perceive the unspoken, sense disguised emotions, and see beyond appearances. This makes them exceptional interpreters of souls. They are natural healers, but also doers. They enjoy helping, listening, and welcoming, but also want to build, lead, and achieve. Thus, they can excel in both healing and leadership roles. Their mission is to unite seemingly opposing worlds, showing that spirituality and action can coexist, that sensitivity is strength, and that leadership doesn't need to be rigid or cold. If you have these two signs on the same hand, know that your journey may be intense, but also richer. You were called to be a bridge, to translate the intangible into something that transforms lives. Use your sensitivity with courage. Use your strength with compassion. You carry both sides, and the world needs the balance you bring. 5. Crescent. Moon and 2 M's, the supreme and rare. Calling certain signs are so unique that when they appear together, they reveal a profound, almost sacred purpose. Having the crescent moon and 2 M's, one on each hand, is one of these exceptional combinations. A clear indication that this soul didn't come just to exist. It came to fulfill a greater mission. People with these signs often feel from an early age that they don't fit into the world's molds. It's as if they were always different, more sensitive, more intense, more aware. They perceive what lies behind appearances, feel others' pain without words, sense vibrations, see patterns, and understand life cycles with surprising ease. The crescent moon offers these individuals access to the intangible, a strong connection to spiritual planes, intuition, and the sacred. They have vivid dreams, premonitions, and a natural bond with the divine. The 2 M's, one on each hand, add strength, leadership, and clarity. This double sign brings the capacity for achievement. Those who carry it have presence, charisma, and tend to take on prominent roles, even without seeking them. The challenge arises when these two worlds collide in the same person. The soul seeks retreat and silence, while the world demands action, voice, and direction. Balancing the sensitive and the practical is essential. These people came to transform. They possess unique gifts, but must protect them. Their sensitivity can become a burden without self-care, rest, and connection to their essence. It's common for them to face difficult moments, not because they deserve suffering, but because they are shaped by adversity. Each obstacle is a refinement, preparing these souls for something greater. Those who carry this combination are extremely perceptive. Nothing escapes them. They sense falsehoods in the air, detect imbalances, and perceive hidden intentions. Often they are silent, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. These individuals lead sacred spaces, places where they can breathe deeply, reconnect and remember who they are. Meditation, nature, living spirituality, all these nourish their energy and balance their strength. If you have these 3 signs, a crescent moon and 2 M's, understand, you are not here by chance. There is something in you that the world needs a unique vision, a special talent, a light that never fades. You were predestined to be a bridge, a guide, a beacon, an example. But above all, you were called to be yourself, and that in itself transforms everything around you. The awakening. There comes a moment in every predestined person's life when something shifts. It doesn't come with fanfare. It's not an obvious sign. Sometimes it's a different silence, a feeling in the chest, a glance in the mirror that goes beyond. That's when the awakening begins. The awakening doesn't have an exact moment. It may come early or take years, but when it arrives, it's impossible to ignore. Something inside you starts saying, "There's more than this," and that voice doesn't quiet. You begin to notice patterns, people, places, situations. Everything seems to teach something. Coincidences increase, the signs become clearer, and for the first time, you feel you may never have been lost, just asleep. Awakening isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you already were. It's as if something ancient resurfaces, a part of you that was always there, hidden by fear, pain, or distraction. This process can be lonely. Not everyone around you will understand. They may say it's exaggeration, that you're dreaming, that you've changed too much. But deep and down, you know it's your moment to awaken. Perhaps your awakening is happening now, and that is beautiful. Respect this process. It is unique, but know that you are not alone. If this content is helping you see your journey more clearly, follow the channel now. Here you will find messages that strengthen your spirit and remind you of what you came to accomplish in this world. Each type of predestined carries a unique strength. Some feel more, others act with determination. Some are bridges between the visible and the intangible. None is superior, none is inferior. Each is essential in its own way. The beauty happens when these paths meet, when the sensitivity of those with the crescent moon unites with the clarity of those with the M, when the strength of those with two M's leans on the serene wisdom of those who listen before acting. Together, they create something none could achieve alone. They transform, they heal, they guide, not out of duty, but out of essence, because they feel called to something greater than themselves. When these awakened souls recognize each other, the world around them transforms. Small encounters become great movements. Simple conversations turn into healing. The presence of one strengthens the other, and everything starts to make sense. You may have a crescent moon, an M, two M's, or all of them together. But the most important sign isn't on your skin. It's in your essence, in what you feel when hearing this message. Being predestined isn't about status or prominence. It's about responsibility for what vibrates within you. It's about living with authenticity, courage, and purpose. If something in you has lit up, perhaps it's time to look more closely at your hands and with more affection at your soul. And now tell me, do you have any of these signs? A crescent moon, an M, two M's? Leave it in the comments. I want to know which of these paths represents you. Because when a predestined person awakens, everything around them awakens too.